Hello, welcome to the Doctor Chatting with Dr. Stevel show. I'm your host, Dr. Stevel, and today's guest is a freelance illustrator, storyboard artist, and author. He's currently drawing two web comic book series and just released Monster Atlas 2, Volume 2, Europe. Welcome, Greg Hyland.
Hello.
Well, you've got the Santa Claus look happening,
I
similar
do.
to the guest I had on last night. Wow.
It's I guess now 6 months of just letting myself go.
6 months. But
Yeah.
this
I remember
virus thing.
it
But
was
we were only in
January.
lockdown since March, like about 2-3 months.
I knew it was coming.
Okay.
No, I just remember that I got my last haircut and shaved in January, and then I had to get the Monster Atlas finished, and I was working really hard on that. So I was like, oh, I'll just I won't worry about anything until I get the book done and it's all good. And the book was finished when the world collapsed.
Friday the 13th.
Almost, actually, almost. It was actually I got the book on the 18th, which was that following week. And
Wow.
I had gone into Studio Comics to get copies, and because I was preparing to be done for the Toronto Comic Con, and so I was getting my copies of the book, and then I had other things that needed printing for the Kickstarter people, like trading cards and maps, and I was like, oh, we'll do those like Friday, and then we'll have them for, I don't really need them for Toronto Comic Con, but I need them afterwards, and pretty much it's almost like as I was driving away from Kitchener, the world was being destroyed behind me as I drove. And
in a rear view mirror.
Yeah, that was it exactly. And it was pretty much that when I got home, it was like that's it. Nothing is happening. So
Wow, all that work to rush and then like bam, you hit a wall.
that was it exactly, which was crazy. Because we wanted to get, we were just like, Toronto Comic Con, got to get at least the book, and we did. But it was like, oh great, now I have the book and nowhere to sell it.
Oh,
And
geez.
I would usually I couldn't start doing the Kickstarter stuff because I still needed stuff printed, and then Studio Comics was closed, and I was just like, what's going, because the Kickstarter date was April. It was going to be like, you will get this in April. And we were like, oh, no problem. Toronto Comic Con's at the end of March. We'll have the books. Then we'll get the extras printed. And then no problem. We'll get it, all packed up and ready to go beginning of April and sent out. No problem. We're right on schedule. This is great.
Well, I just saw Alfonso posted that Studio Comics is now open, so you can walk in there and just give him a piece of your mind.
Yeah, well, he had secretly opened at sometime in May. So I was able, because at least I could email the files of what I needed done. And he knew what I wanted because he's done them before. So he knew exactly what to do. So I was able to send those. And then he eventually said they're done. And I could do dumpster side pickup.
The back door, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of shady deals have happened back there.
It's true. And more did happen when I was there.
I got a copy of Lethargic, lad.
Oh my God. That's good.
That's awesome. I haven't got Lethargic lad doing the, thanks to you doing the little Dr. Stevel thing.
Excellent. I'm here for you, man.
Right? I remember Lethargic lad, you were doing this back at Sheridan College.
Yeah.
Back in late 80s, early 90s.
I did the first mini comic in 1988. And I've been too dumb to stop doing it.
Holy crap! That's I'm not gonna do the math, but that's a lot of years.
Too many years. Because it was in 1991 that we published the first independent comic that went to distributors, and like a normal black and white comic. And I did those in various ways until 2000. And then in 2000, I started doing it as a web comic because I figured with the printed comic, I wasn't really making any money. It eventually got to that point, but I wasn't losing any money. So it just seemed to me that if I'm just going to break even, I might as well just give it away on the internet, and then nobody makes money. Hooray!
Yay! The government hates you for that one.
Yeah. Well, I started thinking the distributor makes money when they sell it. The stores make money when they sell it. I don't make anything, and I'm doing the most amount of work. So if I'm going to do that, give it away on the internet. And that seemed like in 2000 the thing to do.
Well, this thing says it's 2014. When I originally looked at that, I go, wait a sec, we were at Sheridan back in the 90s.
Yeah. Well, that would have been the mini comics that I did, and then 91 was the full size book.
And are you gonna ever re-release those?
Nobody wants them.
Really? Is it just because they're out of date, or the jokes were at that considered like at the time all stuff that happened in the 90s?
It's true, they are that way. When I read them, I'm still like, these are still funny, but yeah, the references are long gone. So and now I'm, I've actually this year kind of given up on Lethargic Lad. Not that I just felt that I need a break. So I actually haven't done a new online strip since last July. And the lethargiclad.com website is horribly out of date.
Okay. And
that just, I'm kind of like, I just don't have the enthusiasm for it at the moment.
Well, looking at your page and this book of Lethargic Lad, Lethargic Lad rarely appears. He's just like in the background doing nothing. It's all your other characters, sub-characters, that seem to have all the action and all the talking.
That's right. That's what I like. I like when he doesn't show up in his own comic.
What is his powers, right? Because I'm looking at the beginning, it's like, oh my gosh, it looks like he's got the Superman origin, but it's not.
Yeah, but not.
Is it the Batman origin? No. Is it Spider-Man? No.
That's right. He has no powers, and that like nothing exciting ever happened. Well, he can't do anything, and boring stuff happens around him. So, and all he can do is say one word, which is which is even less than saying I am Groot. So there you go. I was there first.
Well, looking at the way you got his scribbled eyes when we were back at Sheridan, I was wondering if he ever got animated, would his eyes just be like, moving the entire time?
That's what I would want, that boiling look.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would want. So
that's pretty cool. I was still learning how to draw, and you already had a freaking comic book coming out at that time, man. That's freaking amazing.
Some would say that I still needed to learn how to draw. So
yeah, I never got to, so that's why I'm kind of not in the business.
Oh no.
I somehow graduated, I don't know, but then
pretty good. Somehow me too. So
yeah, but you also looking back at, you're on IMDb, so like you're credited for was that oh my gosh, Beetlejuice, the animated series.
I worked on Beetlejuice for about a year and a half, and then they said to me, "Thank you, see you later."
Okay, cool. I don't feel so bad because I was on Little Bear before they before it was done. They go like, Steve, yeah, thanks, but no thanks.
Well, you and I actually showed up there at the same time.
Yeah, but you got Beetlejuice, and I thought that's better for bragging rights.
It was a little bit more fun because I know guys that were on Little Bear, and boy, that did not look fun at all.
No, it wasn't. And my drawing skills were still lacking. I still didn't understand that structure thing till after I left Sheridan a long time ago. But then me trying to like I am a good artist when it comes to copying things. Like right there, I can draw. But when it comes down to creating stuff, I got these great ideas in my head. And once I get the paper, everything just goes blank. I just can't do anything. So I'm just like a slow photocopy machine. That's pretty well my talent.
That's okay.
Yeah, but then I took up photography, so that gave me more time to do stuff.
Ends up looking a lot more realistic.
Right, exactly. And
Right.
then they got an app there that you can look like you drew it.
You don't need anything else.
Right, cool. Well, we got a couple people watching on the Chatting with Dr. Steve. You guys just want to say hello, let us know you're there, ask any questions, see find out who Santa is in case you missed the beginning, and see if my minion is real. Right, over there. This green screen is just like weird. No, they probably fell asleep.
That's all right.
Okay, now what you've got right now is Monster Atlas, right?
Yes.
Like I've got the first Monster Atlas, the Americas,
The American
Volume 1. This is pretty cool. Like, what did your idea for Monster Atlas? You explain it.
The books, I mean, it's like a guide. It's an atlas and then a guide to monsters and shows you where they are. But it's all kinds of monsters. So we've got like the cryptids, like Bigfoot and Mothman and stuff. But then we also have like legendary things, folklore, but then movie and TV monsters too, right? So we'll show you where Bigfoot is, but we'll also show you where Freddy Krueger is.
Right.
So like and I'm monsters are the same. So that
you've got Hulk, the Incredible Hulk. He made it, appearance on a page here.
Because he's a monster.
He's a TV monster.
Let's face it, he's a monster.
Marshmallow Man.
Yep.
And also, you've got a map here at the beginning to show you where all these monsters are located.
Yeah, where they are. So it's like, I remember, those maps that you'd see and show you where animals are, or it would show you where the Eiffel Tower is and the Tower of London, whatever. I like that idea, but then I want to do it with monsters. And originally, my idea was, I just want to make a map, like a poster, and sell it as a poster. And as I started researching it, I was like, there's no way I can do this as a book, because I wanted a little like paragraph as well. And I thought, there's no way that I can do it and be as thorough as I want to do. So I'll do this as a book.
It's quite the thick book, obviously.
That one is,
and
that one's almost.
In Canada, you've even got Count Floyd.
That's right. We want to be as thorough as we could. So. And then we treat every monster in there as if they're real. So all the movie and TV stuff, we almost talk about them as if the movies that they're in are actually a documentary, not direct.
And it's pretty cool. It reminds me of the old DC's Who's Who that came out back in, was it the 80s or 90s?
That's the idea as well. I always like those kind of books as well. So I showed a copy at the Hamilton Comic-Con to Jim Shooter, and he said, "This is like the Marvel Handbook." I said, "Yeah, I guess, yeah."
And for any comic book creators and artists, this is awesome because Aurora Man, he lives in Saskatchewan, right? You've got like the Saskatchewan you got a monster that's based there, right? So he can look up stuff that goes, hey, what do we need? That people can kind of look this up and see legends, folklore, and whatever else they can use.
I've had all sorts of people like at conventions who buy the book and go, "This will be great for my D&D game." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Okay, that works too.
And I've had a store say, "Your book was doing okay selling in our store, but then we moved it into our gaming section and we sold out."
I gotta find your niche.
But yeah, not that I knew. I didn't know. Didn't plan it that way at all.
Right on. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, you got that in there as well?
Yep. We tried to be as all encompassing. My Glenn Kay, who wrote the book, is like an encyclopedia of stuff, of like movie stuff. Like there's nothing, because we're always getting people coming to me saying, "Oh, but do you have this?" And it's like, yeah, actually we do. Can't really get anything past Glenn. So especially with I'll just show you, I have here, because we did there's the Europe, one of the Europe books. So this is Western Europe, and then we did another one which is Great
Europe.
Britain and Scandinavia. And well, I don't know where to put these. Right now, we're working on the Eastern European book, because we realized that if we tried to do Europe as one book, it would be bigger than the North America or the Americas book, and we wouldn't have it done yet. So by breaking it up into volumes, we're able to get one part out and then another part. So I'm hoping that in about a year that part 3, Eastern Europe, will be out.
Wow.
That's the
impressive
goal.
Now, earlier on, I saw you mention that Poland's got some weird monsters, and that's my background, Polish. So what are we talking about?
I just recently did, I'll show, I've got the art right here. I did this one, which is, there's a Polish name, which I don't know, but it's otherwise called the Disco Demon.
The Disco Demon, I've never heard of that.
What it would do is it would distribute bootleg albums. But if you were going to get a bootleg album, you're in danger the demon might kill you, especially if you actually talk to it. So then it will kill you. So this is actually like a real urban legend thing, especially in like port cities. So at the north,
right.
Because, yeah, that's where we have it on the map. So yeah, I guess it's like, the urban legend. Oh, you'd better not buy a bootleg rock and roll album, or
otherwise the Polish disco monster will come and get you. Hello, I'm going to get you.
So that's right. And when I looked up pictures of it, which aren't really many, it was all very, very typical devils and demons, and I thought, that's boring. But one of the things that came up when I used to search with the Polish name was all these medieval devils, and they're fantastic. So I based it on that, which is why it's so demented looking, and it's got pants with eyes on it, and it's got it's got different faces all over its, and yeah, I just thought, that's great. Just medieval art is insane. So I like basing stuff on that.
There's a lot of different legends in Poland that you can find.
Yeah, we got
the big dragon from Krakow. There's a legend about that.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten that. I haven't been able to go through everything yet. Glenn's writing it right now, and then he sends them to me a few at a time as he writes them, and I'm able to draw them.
How does he do the research? I mean, that's a lot of reading, and where does he find all this stuff?
He's crazy. I mean, mostly it's internet stuff. He will read, back when you could go to the library, and he would look up stuff there. And he's already got like an encyclopedia knowledge of movies, so that's not a big deal. But all the like legend and cryptid stuff, is getting online, and you can really get into it because we both would do research when we're starting the books. We'd both look into things and then make a list of here's what we need. And quite often, we did overlap, but sometimes I'd have one that I'd say, we need this. He'd have one that I'd go, wow, I haven't heard of that. That's fantastic. And once you get into it, I mean, it's like, you can start, it's the rabbit hole, right? You start looking at stuff and one thing leads to another, and suddenly it's 3:30 in the morning and you're still reading articles about, lake monsters and what have you.
We got Edible Polly here, says, always awesome guests. Said Polly seems to look like Ulrich of the North, but
Yeah.
coincidence, I guess.
He drinks a lot, but
fair enough. Now, you got monsters. You include real monsters? Sorry, you include real monsters like serial killers, or you're just going to avoid all that?
No, we have a few. We've had a few in Europe, the Europe books especially. There's been some, especially when we did the Western Europe book, that there's like a few kind of like serial killers and things in like Italy and Spain, but they were like maybe more in the 1800s and whatnot. We put Jack the Ripper in the book.
Yeah, he's legend.
Just because, we don't really know. And people are always going to try and trip you up on something. So, yeah, but do you have? And pretty much all the time we do. So
now this is very recent. I mean, I think it was last year it came out. But with the movies coming out, they're always creating monsters, like from Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
So in the future, you're gonna have to throw something like that in.
Yeah, with Stranger, the Demogorgon is in that one.
Okay.
And we really just got it in. Like, it was kind of like when I drew it, there wasn't much reference, and it was kind of hard to find a good picture of it.
Well, we got the Incredible Hulk, Killer Cons from Outer Space.
There you go.
Killer Tomato.
Same thing with the creature from Shape of Water. There was pretty much no reference available when we did it, so it was really hard to find a good picture. One thing that Glenn wanted in there was the creatures in what's the one where you have to stay quiet?
Oh, A Quiet Space.
Yeah, okay.
Quiet Place.
He really wanted that in there, and it had just come out, and there was no reference because, of course, they're trying to keep it secret what the monster looks like.
Of course.
So, hopefully we'll do an update one day. The one thing that I really want in there is that we missed is Gritty, the mascot of the Philadelphia Flyers. He should be in there. Gritty is amazing. Trust me.
That's cool. What about comic books? Do they have any monsters, or is that all like trademarked?
It isn't. Because one thing, like the way we can get away with putting the Hulk in there and Freddy Krueger and what have you, is we are journalism. So we can use whatever we want because we're not claiming to own these things. And we're not using a picture. All the artwork is mine. So it's a brand new image of these things that are owned by companies. So theoretically, they can't do anything to us because, again, we're journalism. And we don't claim to own anything, and we don't put anything trademarked on the cover. So no one's going to buy that by accident thinking that that's a Ghostbuster book, or
right. Oh, cool. And you told me earlier that you plan to get every continent eventually.
Yeah. So it's a long-term project.
Obviously.
Because the idea would be, like I said, in about a year we'll get Eastern Europe out, and then we'll go on to Asia. And I figure Asia will be at least 3 books.
Oh, no doubt. And when you get to Japan alone, because of all the anime and
That could be
Godzilla, of
one
course, and
book right
Mothra, and
Yeah. So the one thing I want to avoid is we don't really include cartoons or comics, because I feel the way those characters look is like a drawn thing by that artist or by that studio. So that's why when we put the Hulk in there, it's the Lou Ferrigno TV show Hulk. And
right.
when we put Hellboy in there, movie Hellboy, and Swamp Thing, movie Swamp Thing, right? Because those characters really are the way that the person draws them. So if the Hulk's a Jack Kirby Hulk, then
Karen says
that
gritty is
really should
truly
be drawn by
frightening.
Jack Kirby, and it shouldn't be drawn by me just copying a Jack Kirby picture or a picture from a cartoon.
It's true. My friend Karen says gritty is truly frightening.
Yes, he is.
Okay, I still got to see a picture of gritty. I'm kind of like confused.
My face mask is I ordered a gritty face mask to have
Gritty.
so that I can go out in public. But gritty, because we have in the book, in that first book, we have the Philadelphia Fanatic, who's the Phillies mascot, because he's like a monster. Because he was actually the first costume mascot in all sports.
Okay.
We also have the Big Green Monster, which is the mascot of the Boston Red Sox, because it's in his name that he's a monster. And
yeah, you got this by territory, so not by alphabetical order. So
yeah, it goes Canada, United States, and then Mexico, and then we work right from west to east. So, and then within a segment, so for instance, within Ontario, then it's alphabetical. But geographically,
right, okay,
it's kind of mixed up. Sorry.
You got the big heads from Easter Island, or are they not monsters?
Well, we haven't done that. Well, I guess that could be South America.
South Pacific. I'm not too sure.
So that might be something we get to when we do like Australia and Pacific nations, because they're going to be insane. And
no doubt. I mean, a lot of the old countries got a lot of history, a lot of folklore that should be interesting. When you get to Poland, you mentioned that there's all devils. It's a Catholic country, okay? So pretty well anything bad is a devil. It's just the way it is.
And just like here's an alien from a UFO abduction.
Oh. From where?
I don't know where in Poland. However, if you go to the town where the abduction happened, they have a monument. And if you look up the town on Google Earth, it's marked where the monument is. And
do you know the name of the town?
I not offhand, because I don't have it in front of me, but I can look. I can look it up, and then you.
Sorry, my friend Karen just sent me a picture of Gritty.
Oh,
that is yeah. Let's see if I can share screen on this. No, I can't. Not yet.
Emilcin. Emilcin.
What, for the city?
Yeah.
Spell it again for me.
Emilcin.
Emilton. Oh, Emilcian abduction. Wikipedia. Emilcin is a village and administrative district of Gmina Opole Lubielski within, who cares where it is, Eastern Poland. Lies approximately 6 kilometers east of Opole, Lubieski, and 40 kilometers. Okay, so there's an abduction.
Yeah.
And that picture that you got, oh, there's the monument. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like a cube, right?
Yeah, very, very creative. I don't know what the alien looks like, so we just put the monument. It be like this. It's like square, like I don't know. It's like you do what you can, best you can. You are architect. You create something.
Oh, I can't find. There's other good stuff that I thought I left all the artwork here, but oh, there it is. And there's a bear.
With the Russian bear?
No, it's a Polish bear.
Wojtek, the Polish bear.
From Corporal Wojtek.
Wojtek, the Polish bear. I'll tell you about the story about him. I'm really excited. That was a bear that was adopted by the
Yep.
Poles that were freed from the Russian prison. They went down to Middle East. They saw this bear that was just like a really baby bear. It was struggling, so they kind of fed him milk and beer. And it became part of the Polish infantry when they attacked Monte Cassino. He actually helped carry the stuff.
That's why in my picture, he's carrying a shell.
A shell, yeah. He helped during the battle because like he was just bored and they were like carrying stuff. So he said, "Okay, I help," but he didn't really say it because he's a bear.
That's right.
Oh, God, I was about to mention that, but I thought, well, he's not a monster; he's a bear. So I didn't think you'd include that. That's amazing.
But exciting. So.
Oh, for sure.
So
That's
yeah,
like a Disney movie, like just happened live, but nobody's knows about it.
Yeah, although there's like a statue in Scotland of the bear.
Really?
Yeah,
That bear is Winnie the Pooh. Which one?
that one.
Oh, nice.
So that's
Because
cool.
I went to England back in like 2002 or something, and we walked by this Polish museum. Me being Polish, I just want to check it out. And they had a statue of Wojtek there, and they had these little like pamphlets about it. So I got so excited that this is awesome. I'm not sure why a movie hasn't been made about it because like Disney or all these other animation studios could just clean up with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fantastic story.
Yeah. And what? So yeah, see what I like about the alien is it's just like a little dwarf guy, but I like the spaceship, so I had to make sure that I drew the spaceship as well because it's insane.
That was a spaceship they had. It looks like a little shed with
Yeah. According to the description, that was the spaceship.
Wow. We've got a few people watching. You guys just want to come on, just type in hello so we know who's there. Say hello to Greg. Say hello to me. Ignore me. Ignore Greg. I don't care. Just say something. Karen says Wojtek. She remembers she was there at one that bear thing. I'm thrilled about that, man. I'm definitely getting it because of the country Poland, but
no, you have to, yeah. So we one sale got you checked.
Right?
Well, you got the first Europe book, didn't you?
I didn't know, not yet. I just got the Americas.
Oh, okay. I thought you got that one because I remember putting your name in it.
Yeah, this one, I did the Kickstarter, but you kind of missed my name, but you were nice enough to include it. See right there? Yeah. You typed in Stevel. So I was okay with that.
Oh dear.
We got a friend, Juliet says hello.
Hello, Juliet.
Alfonso, he asks, hello. What's Greg's favorite monster?
Oh, no. No. Hello, Alfonso. He's my best friend.
See that pose he's doing? That's called the Alfonso now. I had a magician online a couple weeks ago, and we've named it the Alfonso. It's a pose.
Rightly so. Very
So
good.
do you have a favorite monster?
Who, me?
Yeah.
every time someone asks, I can't think of anything, and right when they're done, I'm like, oh, this one I like because it's insane. I like, there's one in the first European book, so in Scandinavia, that I like. I can't remember its name, but I like it because what it would do is it would squeeze itself between two trees to force itself to poop, so it would have more room to eat people. And that is what a good monster does. So
It squeezes between trees, poop, so it can eat. Okay.
yeah.
I'm like that with M&Ms, right? I need to get my
I've
M&Ms, so I squeeze
seen
myself
that.
in between two trees and like, all right, I can get peanuts today. I got extra room.
Yeah. There was again medieval pictures of this creature that I was like, this is fantastic. So I like taking like the medieval pictures and trying to draw them realistically, even though they're drawing in that, medieval style. I try and make it as if it's real. Although all the pictures of this creature, it always had poop flying out its butt. So I made sure when I drew it, it also had poop flying out its butt because
Nice.
I
I
thought,
think everybody likes that. Alfonso, Julie, and Graham, they all like your poop story,
yeah, well, why wouldn't you?
right? Poop just, it's funny. Poops and
It,
farts.
it's a crowd pleaser. Only I could find. I can't remember its name, but too many monsters. But
No doubt.
I don't know. I just yeah, and I try and
Oh,
draw them as, oh, there it is, as creepy as I can. Because someone I know did tell me that it gave their kid nightmares reading certain stuff.
okay.
Like, bang, we succeeded.
Between two trees and poop. Wow. Wow. It's like a giant kitty. Oh, yep, there's the poo coming out.
Yeah, I made sure. So what? This had better get me some online sales.
Well, no doubt.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
great idea. Alden.
So there you go. But look that up online too, and you'll find like the medieval pictures that are just fantastic. I did one just recently, a Polish one. There's the Orba water monster. So Orba is a river, I believe, and
Orba.
there's talk of that there's a river monster in it, and a lot of the descriptions of it are, it's basically a serpent, a big long serpent with a large toothy mouth and whatnot, and it swims really fast, and it eats swimmers and what have you. Swims really fast, and so fast that no one's really been able to take a picture beyond just the water splashing and whatnot. However, there was a medieval picture of it, so I thought I want to base it on the medieval picture because that's a lot more interesting than serpent, because I've drawn so many of those. Oh, so there it is. It's like it's a creature in a shell.
Huh.
And I was just like, this is fantastic. I have to draw it this way as if it's realistic.
And
But
it's got the big like hands and the big feet too. So not
yeah,
only
like,
but it can walk on land.
like it's turtle-like, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. And where are the two little elves there next to it?
Oh, the elves. That's the Wrocław. It's a town in
Wrocław.
Poland where, yeah, WROCLAW.
Yeah, Wrocław. I've been there. It's a great town. Yeah,
So
dwarves from Wrocław. Cool.
so there's lots of dwarves there because they were used as a symbol of the anti-communist solidarity movement. and people would draw like graffiti of these little elves all over the place, like kind of as a clue that, you know, the powers that be wouldn't know what this meant. And they use that. And then according to the story is that the elves were so impressed with this happening that they were like, thank you for using us as a symbol of this, you know, freedom movement. And now this town, businesses have made little like 1 foot high like brass statues of the elves, and they're apparently everywhere. There's hundreds of them everywhere. And tourists go there to see if they can find all like 130 odd elves that are all over the city. So we have that. And then I also drew, that's kind of a version of the graffiti that was, or one example of the graffiti that was put on walls, just as like a little drawing, usually a chalk drawing, it looks like. So I thought I'd have the elf standing with the copy of what the graffiti looked like. So that's that.
Okay. We've got Alfonso asks you. Well, okay. First of all, he wants to say for some reason his favorite is the killer tomato.
If I'm not mistaken, he likes the killer tomato so much that he owns the original artwork.
Oh,
I don't know
the original tomato.
Yeah, he paid a lot for it too, because I think it was on eBay or something like that. That it was really, really going for a lot of money.
All right, I'll be sure to check that out.
Yeah, it's on his wall.
And then he asks, how many monsters have you listed so far?
There's about 500 in the first book, and then there's about 300 in, I think, both European. So about 600 maybe in the European books that we've done so far. So too many.
Too many. I'm here. I'm sorry. Right now, I'm looking up at some of my pictures from Wrocław, but I don't remember any little tiny.
You don't remember the elves? Do a Google.
So no elves. No, these are the pictures I took when I went there. So I didn't know anything about this. Otherwise, I would have been looking for them.
Yeah, but it's like right away when you do a Google search, that's pretty much all you get is pictures of the statues.
Oh, that's cool.
And so like
that's good to know.
Businesses apparently will get a statue of the elf doing whatever their business is, and that'll be like outside, you know, their business. So if they're a baker, they'll have like an elf with like cakes and stuff. If they're, you know, doing whatever else, it'll like represent what they do as well. And hey, monsteralice.com. Exactly.
That's where we can pick up all your books, correct?
That is where you can get them.
Okay, well, definitely check out the European ones. You've got one European out or two?
Two Europeans.
Okay.
So, yeah, British Isles and Nordic countries is one book. So that's it there.
Messy, huh?
Yep. And then, oh, smash. Western Europe, that's the second one.
What is that thing on the cover?
Oh, this is the Krampus.
Oh, so, Krampus, yeah.
So the Krampus comes around at Christmas time and takes away bad children, and you gotta watch out. Actually, in Europe, there are several creatures that come and make sure that you're behaving at Christmas time and take you away if you aren't. So it's there's a lot of like ruling through fear in like Italy and Spain and Germany. Yeah. It's fantastic.
They have that story on American Dad animated series. Do you remember that? Where it was Krampus came by. He was like evil. He was imprisoned, right? So Stan and them went and they were going to kill Krampus, but they found out that he was imprisoned by corporate America and the corporate world. So all bad kids they still got presents, right? Because Krampus wasn't around to scare them. So it was just Santa Claus and his boys. They were like, all right, you're a good kid. Let's buy him this, buy him this, buy him this. And Krampus was the only thing keeping them at bay, like from being really bad, because there's no punishment, right, if you're bad for Christmas, right?
Now there is.
Especially today.
Yeah, yeah. Like towns have like Krampus parades where they have all sorts of Krampuses walking around, and now apparently it's so popular a lot of American cities are starting to have Krampus parades. It's great.
That's cool. It's kind of scary as hell if you get some really decent costumes there.
And they are decent. When you, again, Google it and you'll see these guys in amazing costumes.
I know a couple girls there that they create these awesome costumes. Like she did Alien, Predator. I mean, it's like screen accurate. She's like spends a lot of time with the latex. She's also got Krampus. She's appeared a couple times. That's scary as fuck.
Yeah, it should be.
Hey, are you ever going to include the minion? Oh, sorry, the minions in your little thing? They are little monsters, aren't they?
They are. And I think we talked about it. Glenn and I talked about it. Because in a way, opposed to what I said about like cartoons and stuff, for some reason, when something's CG, it's okay if I draw it. And I think that's okay because again, doesn't have that like on model look.
Right.
But I think we couldn't pin down a location for Minions. Maybe I'm wrong. Because that's the.
If you watched the Minions movie, I guess they were all over the place, right?
Yeah, like there's no central location, right? So
fair enough.
That's the one kind of thing we want to do is have a place where we can put them. People are always saying to me like, oh, do you have Alien from Aliens? And it's like, no, because that happened in space, right?
That's fair.
You have Predator though, and we do. That's because Predator was in a Central American country. It was a fake country, but we do kind of know where it was. So we've got it placed where it should be. Same with one of the made up dinosaur from Jurassic World.
Jurassic World.
So because they've shown where the island theoretically would be, although it's fake. Same with like Stranger Things, the town that they're in isn't real, but they've given away enough clues that where it should be. Same with Stephen King novels are all in fake towns in Maine, but even Stephen King said this town is an approximation for this. This is supposed to be this. So we've placed them where he says they should be.
That's pretty smart. Especially because North America, I mean, we've only been around, like us guys, us white folk has only been around for like a couple hundred years. So our legends are not that scary as opposed to Europe. They've got like, centuries of legends and folklore and whatnot, which is more interesting.
Although we included some indigenous legends.
I saw that. That's cool.
Same, and in South America too, because there's some crazy stuff in South America. But it's interesting. The one thing that we kind of found, especially in the Americas book, is through the legends you can start seeing why some of these monsters exist. Like some of the indigenous Inuit legends in the north, clearly they exist to keep children from not going too close to the edge of the water, because a lot of stories are this will come out of the water and get you. Whereas a lot of the South American legends are clearly this is meant to keep you away from wandering into the jungle. Because again, a lot of things are waiting in the jungle and they're going to get you as soon as you come in the jungle. Although then in South America, there's also a lot of beautiful women who are actually monsters. So, don't go off with a beautiful woman who leads you into the jungle because as soon as you get into the jungle, they turn into a horrible creature and they kill you. So it's almost like, don't be unfaithful in South America.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. At
It's
first, I thought you were describing marriage, but okay,
no,
that works too.
no,
You got to say nice things. Yes, I know.
yeah,
They're watching you.
they are.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna get killed too, but that's okay. It just sounded funny. That's amazing, man. All the work you're doing to create this. I mean, first I thought, yeah, it looks like a D&D thing, but
Yeah,
this is really cool. I mean, a lot of some. There you go, the Philly thing you were talking about.
there you go. Yeah, the fanatic.
Fanatic, the Blob, Christine.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah.
All right, I'm still trying to get used to this camera and backwards.
No, I was doing the same. Like, which is which?
Yeah, this is cool. Everything's broken down, and then you go from there. Brilliant way of doing this. This is fantastic. I can't wait to get the European ones, and then move on to the other ones.
It's a long-term goal.
Oh, for sure. And by the time you finish, you probably have to redo America.
Yeah, I already want to. I've been finding stuff. I mean, beyond Gritty, but we've been finding other things, and then more movies come out that would be cool to include,
and then you got one monster who's kind of in charge of things right now, the best, the greatest ever. He could be included because the hair's alive. Like, but I won't say who, because it's great, fantastic, and just.
Well, I've got the when I'm at conventions, I've got the backdrop with the North America map on it, and every show that I'm at, some guy comes up and is looking at it and says, I don't see Doug Ford. Well, next time.
Next time. All right, we'll work on that.
We did think about political figures, but we thought, well, we don't want to go that far and offend someone, no matter how wrong they are. But oh well. Yes, the goblins from Troll 2 are in there.
From this one, or is that in the European one?
That would be in the North America one.
Okay. Do you know what area?
Sort of the Midwest.
I gotta. And it'll take me too long to pretty well find it, but
it would.
Freddy Krueger, Louisiana. Oh, that should have been cool. Goblins from Utah. Is that it?
It might be, yes.
I got them right there. Is that it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
All right. And next to the car. That's a lot of work there, man. Trying to find it. You're welcome, Graham. All right, so that means
go to monsteratlas.com and get a book. So there you go.
Yeah, that's right. We should say it's here, but if you want to find out, gotta buy the book and you'll see, right? That's the proper way to do it. Sorry, my bad.
And then I've been doing, because I think I mentioned to you before, you were like, what do you want to talk about? And I said frogs, and you were like, what? And that's the other thing I've been doing recently. I've kind of given up or put aside Lethargic Lad because I'm doing a new online comic called Frog Crisis, which can be found at frogcrisis.com. It also can be found on Patreon. But kind of the idea is I was realizing the problem of it took me so long to get Lethargic Lad done because I realized it would take me 3 days from start to finish doing a Lethargic Lad strip. Whereas I kind of set myself up with the task with Frog Crisis that I have to do a strip in 15 minutes. So 15 minutes from me drawing it to it being on the internet. And just kind of as an exercise on how fast can I get something done. So it doesn't look fantastic, but people seem to like it. I had several.
What's it about?
a frog who's having a crisis, and it's just stuff. He'll say it's just like a newspaper. I treat it like a newspaper comic, so it's just gags. So I can do stuff in there that I say couldn't, or it would be harder to do in Lethargic Lad. So it's just like a 3-panel gag comic. Like there's
Okay.
one of the ones that I've did. So yeah, I try to do them as quickly as possible. No rulers. I don't even erase pencil lines. It's all there, and that's the look I wanted. I started trying to do them more cleaned up with better lettering, and people were like, no, it's got to be like part of its charm is how rough it is. So
why are you doing it this way? Just so you can like write every day? Sorry, so you can write and draw every day? You froze. You're frozen.
You went away. Now you're back.
Okay, you're frozen, so maybe I went away. Okay, you froze again. So whoever's watching this, one of us is freezing. One of us is like going in and out. Okay, there you go. You're in slow motion. Now move your hair just so I can see, because that'd be cool in slow motion. Your hair, like there you go. All right, back to normal. Almost back to normal. What inspired you to go do Crisis Frog? Is it so you can like draw something every day or write something every day?
Yeah. Because I can get something out like really, really fast. And it's actually the design of the character. I actually made up that character when I was at Sheridan. So I used it on in some assignments, and then I actually used it on my 3rd-year film. So I've had this character for a while, and I'd even use the character sometimes would show up in Lethargic Lad. And whenever I put him in Lethargic Lad, just as kind of like an in-between panels, making like a comment on something, people would always say like, do more frog. They didn't like my others, but they're like, do more frog. So that's been for about 1.5 years now. I've been doing a strip a day.
Oh, cool.
That's
awesome.
My goal was, when I first started doing it, I thought, can I do a week's worth of daily comics? And then I did that, obviously. And then I thought, well, can I do a month's worth? And I managed to do that, and I've been doing it ever since. So it was January last year that I started doing it.
Wow. And so I guess a lot of it has to do with like current issues or whatever just happens around you, yeah?
Yep. Yeah. So I did one. Let me see. Like I'll look at Twitter sometimes and see if anyone said something stupid, and then I can do a strip about it, because it's almost always.
Oh yeah, you've definitely got material there.
Yeah, I never. Yeah. I don't know. And then, the frog will call people online or call people on the phone, and he'll have conversations with people. He has like a going thing. I have the character. There's a going thing that he calls up Sting, and we'll talk to Sting.
Which Sting are we talking about? Are we talking about the musician or the wrestler?
The musician.
Okay. Roxanne.
So, Sting will call him and ask him to come over, and he'll be like, oh no, I can't, and then make up excuses why he can't go over. And then Sting will say, but Phil Collins coming, and he'd be like, oh no, I don't want to see Phil Collins. Oh, you guys, no, I don't want to come over and play Cards Against Humanity with you and Phil Collins. Forget it. So stuff like that.
That'll be interesting.
Is happening. Yeah. He'll call up Justin Trudeau with like questions. Like if he has tax questions, he just calls Justin Trudeau, and he'll say like, I'm a cartoon frog. Do I still have to do my taxes? Oh, I do, eh? Oh, that sucks. But okay. Oh, June 1st. Okay, don't worry, I'll do them. So I think, yeah, the two people he talks to the most, I think, are Sting and Justin Trudeau. And he always gets Justin Trudeau just right away. Like, he picks up. So there
Wow.
there you go. Who knew? But yeah,
Got to be a cartoon frog, man, just
yeah.
to get a hold of Justin.
But yeah, there, go to Patreon. I do on Patreon. I put up like on Twitter and on Facebook, I put up the comics. That's originally how I was doing them. Right now, I still do that, but I put up 3 new comics every week. But if you go to Patreon, you get 5 comics and a week earlier than the other ones. And then,
But if you get it a week earlier, then why would you go into next week unless you're doing that? Unless next week you get another week earlier, so then
Yeah.
like you're like 2 weeks ahead of everybody, and it's like
you
bizarre.
You can't wait to read it. That you've got to see it.
Like a Back to the Future thing. It's like you know what's going to happen before it happens. It's a paradox, or a pair of geese. I don't know, pair of whatever.
But that's my thing, and I'm planning. I want to do a book. I was originally planning I wanted to do a book like a lot, because I realized I had 300 strips, so I thought I should put all 300 in a book and have that for Fan Expo. And I don't think that's happening.
Because no Fan Expo.
I don't think there will be one. They still haven't announced it. But I still want to
waiting for the last second.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard a rumor about how that they only cancel it when the venue cancels. So I don't know how true that is, but I don't know. I'd be.
And how's it for you? Like for you as a freelance artist, right? I mean, not only are you working for certain companies, but you make a lot of money going to Comic Cons by selling books and artwork and whatnot. So it's hit you in the wallet, this COVID-19?
It has. Because, I mean, like I said, I was hoping to have Monster Atlas sell at the Toronto Comic Con, because I always move a good chunk of books there. And to have the 3rd book, it would be great, because some people will be like, I've never heard of this, and then they'll buy all 3. Like, it was great.
Nice.
When I had 1, they'd buy it, but now that I have 3, they will buy all 3. And there used to be a thing, because I live in Hamilton. There was a thing in Hamilton called Art Crawl, that every Friday night people would set up on a certain street in Hamilton and just sell stuff, like totally unofficially. And so last summer I started going. I just had a little like portable table, and I'd go with the Monster Atlas, and I would sell a few, because people would walk around the street all night looking for stuff, and I could move a few books. So I was looking forward to doing that this year, because hey, I've got 3 books now, right? And so that's not happening. So yeah, the whole thing has been not good.
Last year, were you going to do Frightmare in the Falls because it has to do with horror?
Yeah, I did that. I did that last year and the year before, and
How was it?
That was a really good show. I mean, it's funny because I do so many comic shows, to then go to a horror show and see what the difference is and what it's like. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's the same. But it's kind of interesting, because I also get a crowd there that are open to what I'm doing, but they're like, wow, I didn't know about this, and now I've got to have it, right? Like, they're a little more willing to buy stuff.
I've got a place that your books might do really well at. There's something called Shock Stock that happens every year in London, either April or May. It's a weekend event. Everyone pretty well goes. It's horror, right? They get a lot of horror guests, horror movie stars, like from the B movies and whatnot. It's usually in a hotel, and the evenings are for partying, so people don't really remember. So you're like partying with the stars, and it's
Like
mostly horror stuff. I think you would do really well with them.
Yeah, I want to do more horror conventions. because that's other venues I think is really good. So if ever we have conventions again, I want to do these things. Because I've also
All right.
I've done a lot of library shows, which has been nice because it's it's a book. It's not a comic. It's but so even parents will look at it and go, "Yeah, I'll buy you that." Like a kid, a 9-year-old will be like, "Wow, this is cool. I want to have it." And the parent will look at it and go, "Oh yeah, okay, we'll buy you this." So
Yeah, because your drawings here, although they're monsters, they're not really scary. They're not gonna like freak kids out or give them nightmares. Well, this giant like this thing will,
well, that was
but
one
yeah,
of the
it's
things.
not like like gross and gory and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, and I mean, we include monsters in there that are in movies that kids shouldn't see. So, like Freddy Krueger's there and what have you. But I remember when I was a kid, I was reading Famous Monsters magazine, and you'd be reading about movies that you could never see, but you'd be like, wow. So, that's the kind of what I want out of this book, too. I remember because I would have been 11 seeing a Famous Monsters um, issue that had a big story about The Shining, and so I was just like looking at this and going, "Wow, what is this?" You know, and you who knew, right? But it would be like, "This looks crazy. I gotta see. I'll never see this movie, but I want to see this movie."
Right? Yeah. Oh, this is pretty cool. Let's see what else. Another thing that you're kind of known for at a lot of these Comic Cons were drawing Lego characters.
Yes, because
Sorry,
for
hold on.
years,
Tom, he says we go on. Tom, I messaged Fan Expo and they said they are not canceled yet. So
no,
they're
we'll see.
so yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'd almost be afraid to go. I've been told that I've been approved for a guest table, so I could be there. I don't know. I mean, we're still obviously 2.5 months away, but it's weird what's going on. So
Yeah. Um, to me, that's okay. I kind of needed a rest from walking around trying to scare people and whatnot. It's pretty cool. I get to chill, chilling like a villain. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So this Lego thing, like you've been doing a lot of Lego characters, Lego designs of everything. You even gave me that cool Dr. Steve Lego that I commissioned from you, which is awesome. The story behind that.
I started working freelance for Lego in 2002. And originally, I was working on their club magazine, doing just like little spot illustrations, but then somehow they discovered that I knew how to storyboard, and that my storyboards were better than what they were having done already. And I started storyboarding pretty much all their TV commercials, and then they had little cartoons that they had on their website. And I was for years, up and really until last April, I did my last job for them.
Ooh.
But I was doing stuff for for a long time, and then when I'd go to the conventions, I would draw minifigure pictures because that was something else, and people would everyone likes Lego, and especially the superhero Lego. I ended up drawing there was comics that were on the Batman when they first started doing Lego Batman. I drew the comics that came with the sets.
Wow.
So
You still have any of those? Or you
yeah,
have to purchase them?
you would have to purchase. I mean, those are years old, but if you can find them, they're there because it's not in the box, they're on the box. So even in the store when they were out, you could look at them. So
Okay. Because I used to buy those Lego animated movies only, the Lego DC ones, because they had the little like Lego figurines in them.
Yeah,
I paid the extra for those.
Yeah, I didn't do anything with those, but those are, I buy some of those too. So, like, even right behind me, there's Wayne Manor is right behind me, with the Joker face on it. So, I've got a lot
That's
of
Wayne
Lego
Manor.
everywhere.
It's a big manor for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, I'm kind of interested in a Monster Atlas. I'll probably be. I was kind of hoping to see you because I like to do things,
I know.
in person. So still, well, I'm definitely going to get those, whether I order it or whether I see, or whether I wait till we open up. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to get up on my collection of Monster Atlases because I kind of like the concept. It's pretty good. Great ideas for monsters, and
And there
Oh
are
yeah, and you even did a cool sketch in mine for me. Yay!
Mothman. Everyone
Oh
loves
man.
Mothman. There's and then you get the books. There's actually some made up monsters in every book that Glenn and I made up, but we're not going to say which ones they are. But I will tell you, the Disco Demon in Poland, not made up. Even Glenn had to tell me when he sent it, I didn't make this one up. So,
Disco Demon.
because it had the feel of the kind of monsters we've made up. But there's been one of the monsters, now I can't remember which one. There was someone at a convention, looking through the book, and they stopped at one of the ones that we made up and went, "Yeah, I've heard of this one." And I went, "Yeah, have you? Great." And actually, I remember my daughter was there, and she knew. Actually, it was one that she helped make up, and she just kind of went, and I went, "Yeah, we got someone." So pretty much,
They got a monster that you see at a Comic-Con all the time. He's called Sparky the Dragon. Ever see him?
probably I have.
He's a big red dragon. He just like goes around
Oh,
and he entertains kids.
okay.
He's a staple of every Comic-Con. Just figure if you got monsters, he's a good one to have.
Someone you know?
Yeah, yeah, everyone knows pretty well.
Yeah.
Don't really know what he looks like without the costume on, but
No, I can't
Sparky.
imagine. Maybe I'm beginning to have an idea, but we'll see.
All right, cool. Anything you want to say before we depart today? This has been great. I mean, finding out like more about Monster Atlas, I'm even more excited about it now. Your Lego stuff and Lethargic Lad.
Go to Patreon.
Go to Patreon for Frog Crisis.
Yeah. And everything, actually, it's just everything I do. So I put up Monster Atlas stuff as I do it. So you get to see, because then I'll put up sketches or drawings that I haven't finished. Like, for instance, again, back to the Disco Demon. There's one that I was working on, and then as I worked on it, I decided, no, that's lame. So I didn't bother to finish it. That happens a lot, that I go halfway through and go, no. But then I'll put those up on Patreon. If I'm hoping that if I reach a certain amount of Patreon people, I'll go back to making Lethargic Lad a regular thing. So I put up like everything that I'm working on. I put up there, so it's not just Frog Crisis, but I call it Patreon/Frog Crisis. It really could be Greg Hyland, but that might scare people. But
No, what's going to scare people is your Instagram handle. It's going to scroll right here, right now.
Yeah, there it
Greg
is.
Hyland, creepy artist.
Yeah, I'm not creepy, but
Wait till Christmas.
That was like
Come sit on Santa's lap.
Yeah, that was the nickname from a long time ago.
Ah.
And then some people call me Creepy A.
Creepy A?
Yeah, for creepy artist. But they'll go, hey, Creepy A.
Congrats
Oh,
from Alfonso. Congratulations, Greg. Great artist, 3 awesome books, and there's more to come.
I hope so. Because you know who makes the most money out of these books? Is that
This
guy.
guy?
That guy right there.
That guy.
So it's good for him that I keep doing them. So
Cool.
amazing.
That's all right. That's awesome. All right. Well, when I end the broadcast, just stay on in the background because I want to ask you something. All right.
All right.
So thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. It's been a great interview. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed chatting with you here. Learned a lot, and it was quite fun. And thanks for showing us a lot of your sketches from the upcoming books.
There you
That's
go.
pretty cool. Anything else you want to say to the audience out there? Like love each other, because it's really bad out there.
They know that. But be careful because your grandparents might be Antifa. So be careful because they might be Antifa agents and you don't know. So
Grandparents?
yeah, grandparents.
I can take them. I'm healthier. I'm more than. Oh wait,
Okay.
my back. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Thanks, Santa Claus. Juliet says thanks. All right. We're gonna end the broadcast. So Greg's out there scratching his beard right now, and I'm gonna chat with him later. Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining us for today's episode of Chatting with Dr. Stevel. It was a great guest, and you guys all take care, love each other, do whatever. Well, yeah, if you do it that way too, if you want. I don't really care. Just be nice to each other, and take care, and have a good weekend. Bye bye.